Good morning. I want to talk about sexual energy, how sexual energy is always present in our life. Sexual energy is it's like the energy of life. In every single meeting that we have with another person, sexual energy is present. Whether we're always assessing. We're always assessing that other person somehow in comparison to our sexuality. It's always present in every meeting that we have. And whether it is a lack we're always assessing. We meet somebody, we assess if they are compatible sexually to us. And these are judgments that are made instantaneously. We don't even think about them in the majority of times. When we meet, let's say if we are a female and we meet another female, we have the assessment if they are um, equals to us, if they are, their age, their sexuality that they are exerting from them. um, we're assessing their attractiveness, and if we meet the opposite sex, we are doing the same. We're assessing, are they a compatible companion for us? Do they find us attractive? Are they, what age they are, what stamina they are? There is always a sexual energy present in every single meeting that we have. Now, it doesn't mean that we want to have sex with somebody or that, it's undeniable to that it is always present. And once we are able to, and I know, but it is always present. And once we are able to accept that, and that as an observation, it doesn't have to mean anything. It just means that it is there. Once we are able to accept that and see it for what it is, then we are able to use our and I don't mean in a negative way. I mean that we are able to make more purpose in our life, and we're able to use that with purpose in our life. Use that sexual energy, um, because the sexual energy is going to be there, whether or not you want to accept it or not. I mean, it's going to be there. And so when you are able to see it and see it for what it is, then you are able to use it properly. And I don't mean use it in a way of, taking advantage. I just mean that you're able to add more purpose into your life, knowing that it's there, and use it with purpose. Um, Many of us go through lives trying to damper our sexuality, trying to become like monotone, trying to bring our sexuality down to a minimum. And what we're doing is we're actually closing, because sexuality has to do with our being. We are constantly having because we are divine female and divine male. In every single one of us, there are masculine energies and feminine energies, and this is connected to our sexuality. Our sexuality is our life force, it's where life comes from. So it is always present within us, and we are always shining it out. So a lot of times we go through life, many of us go through our entire lives trying to damper our sexuality, trying to become unsexual, bringing ourselves to a place where we are like closing off our sexuality, trying to make ourselves. There's a word in Hebrew, it's amini, which means like non-sexual. But I guess that would be the word to use, like non-sexual, trying to make ourselves non-sexual. But in doing that, we're also bringing down our personality, because our sexuality is also in our personality. It's in everything. It's in the way that we express ourselves. It's in the way that our body moves. So we try to bring ourselves to a point where we're not expressing any sexuality, but it's also bringing ourselves down to a place of complete boredom, of of in imbalance with the world, of not being an expression. And so we are also dampering ourselves, and many times unknowing these are things that we close off in our early childhood when we start developing sexually, and all of a sudden there's interest in the opposite sex or the same sex, or however your sexuality is opening up for you, and it's something new, and it's something that a lot of times in modern society, even though modern society is supposedly so open, that you start as soon as start coming into your sexuality. First of all, your body is changing. As a woman, you're growing boobs, and as a boy, the shape of your body is changing. There's hair growing all over the place. There's all of a sudden there's interest, there's hormones, there's these urges that come up, and it can be, without proper guidance, or even with proper guidance, and who knows what proper guidance is. These are things of nature. Then we start forming ideas around our sexuality, especially with religion, that it's dirty, that you have to cover yourself up. um, for a girl, a lot of times it's watch out. Those boys are only after one thing. They're not going to see you, and you go through life, and you start adopting all of these warped ideas about sexuality, that, oh, that's all that men want. They only want sex for me. What does that tell a woman? That they're all of their worth is their sexuality. It also shows a woman that she can use her sexuality to get a man, which is kind of taking away from the personality. So there's all of these warped ideas, or that boys are taught that, yeah, with other boys. Yeah, and I know that nothing is absolute that I'm saying, but these are all sorts of things that I've run into in my life. Boys are like, as many girls as you can get, then that's how cool you are. And so there's like these all of these things built around sexuality, and then we're not properly sexually educated, because our parents and schools and are embarrassed to talk about sexuality because of the way that they were raised. So it's kind of like it's a generational damage in our sexuality, and that's taught us to damper our sexuality, to bring it down. You only express sexuality when you are in the act of sex. And this is really, or even, and nowadays, you can't even flirt with somebody without it being, oh, sexual harassment. We've come to such a touchy feely time that men can't even be men, and women can't express their sexuality without, it's warped. The whole idea of sexuality is warped. um, but sexuality, in any case, is always present. We're always assessing people according to sexuality, if they're attractive, not attractive, um, if they are a threat to me, if they're not a threat to me, if I would be compatible with that person, if I'm attractive to that person or not attractive. It's always there, even if it is in the back of your mind and something that you're doing subconsciously. It is always there. It is your life force. It is by nature always there. So when we are able to accept that, and accept ourselves also in our sexuality, it is freeing. All of a sudden, because our sexuality is also very much connected to our expression of ourselves. We are sexual beings, and it's just part of who we are. And it's always present. And when we're able to accept that, then we are also able to let ourselves go and be more of a free expression. And when we are able to express that, we are also able, when we are able to accept it and begin to express it, we also quit fearing it. Because if others are attracted to us, it's something that is within our sexuality is within our control. It is something that when I think that so many women go through life being, first of all, wanting to be attractive, but at the same time not wanting to attract, because they don't know what they would do with that energy, with that sexual energy, because we're not taught what to do with the sexual energy as children. We're not taught that it's natural. We're taught to cover it up, and that it's dirty, and that there's all sorts of things connected to our sexuality that are warped ways of thinking. And so when we start coming into our sexuality and start understanding that our sexuality is our life force, it's our life energy, it's always with us, it's always there, it's always present, then we can start accepting it and we can start embracing it and we can start learning how to use this power. And I don't mean in a vindictive way or in a way of, um, using your sexuality to gain things. I just mean in using it in a way to play with life, in order to play with others, and to, um, to be flirty with your life, to flirt with life, to flirt with others, men and women. Flirting doesn't always have to lead to some kind of sexual encounter. It can, your sexuality is that flirtiness that you have with life, where you can come and you can compliment somebody, and it doesn't have to be dirty, or it doesn't have to be raunchy. It can be just as simple as making somebody know that they are seen and that they are attractive and that you find them endearing. Just the way that you express yourself to them can be in a flirty way, kind of like I'm flirting with the camera now. It gives life that touch. It allows another one to know that they're being seen. It's playful. It can be in a playful way. Um, so really, embracing your sexuality in every aspect of life. Embracing, first of all, that it is there, acknowledging that it is there, and quit dampering it. Because as you damper it, and as you try to break yourself into monotone, with the way that the world works today, it's a very masculine workplace, and women come into the workplace with their masculine energy, and are really dampering their sexuality. They're wearing uh, suits, and bringing in that harsh competitive energy into themselves, which is, first of all, out of nature with the feminine energy. Feminine energy is much softer and flowier, and it brings a different vibe, and it brings balance into the masculine world. The masculine world softens towards the softness of the feminine energy. And so it brings more balance. And the feminine energy is can receive structure and containment from the masculine energy. So these two things that come together, they kind of create this place of balance that the world is in so much need of today, that humanity is in need of today. Women that aren't in their full sexual goddess energy, and men that are not in their full masculine, playful guardian energy. Each of us as a species, each part of the species is kind of dampering their own sexuality, or their own, you could call it masculine energy, feminine energy, sexual energy. It's all the same. It's that playful roles that we have within our species. And so it's something of nature. So, really, this video, summing it up, is about embracing your sexuality. Your sexuality is a present in everything that you do, in every place that you are present. Your sexuality is present in with you, and really embracing it and learning how to play with it and learning how to bring that forward, because that is in every aspect. If you're dampering that, you're dampering your own personality and your own self. So, learning how to play with sexual energy and bring it present, and embracing it and loving it, and reinforcing it. So, I really appreciate it. Thank you.